The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Exploring the Unknown.
I'm Rebecca Williamson.
And I'm Shay Carroll.
Taking stories from today's news, we will explore everything from the paranormal, supernatural, the strange and unusual, unsolved mysteries, and more.
Join us as we delve deep into the unknown and the mysterious, taken from the headlines.
Water cooler chat with a paranormal twist.
Be sure to join our Facebook group, Exploring the Unknown with Rebecca and Shay. Welcome to the show.
Okay, well, welcome to another episode of Exploring the Unknown with Rebecca and not Shay today. I got Darin back helping me out while Shay is recovering from her surgery.
Correct.
So, Thanks, Darin. Thanks for putting up with me again.
Hey, I'm back and ready to roll at it again and see what kind of shenanigans we got going tonight.
Yep. All right, more shenanigans. This one is on Ranker.com, and it is 19 infamous celebrity murders that remained unsolved to this day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This will be interesting.
True crime stuff.
I may not know them all, but
I guess we'll find out. Celebrities are almost always in the spotlight, but in these cases of unsolved celebrity murders, their fame wasn't enough to save them or find their killer. The list features unsolved murders of celebrities and includes some of the most notorious crimes in history. Some of these celebrities were filming at the time of their death, while others were in their own homes. Most of these murder cases closed after years of searching fruitlessly for suspects or substantial evidence, their leads coming to dead ends. However, some of them remain open, and even decades after the murders, authorities are still attempting to identify what actually happened. For now, though, they remain a mystery. Okay, so first one, number one, Bob Crane. Do you know who Bob Crane is?
Now this one, I kind of glanced at this one. He's from Hogan's Heroes, I believe.
Yes, he's known for being Colonel Robert H. Hogan of Hogan's Heroes. 1960s sitcom star Bob Crane from Hogan's Heroes was discovered in his apartment in 1978 in Scottsdale, Arizona, after he had been bludgeoned to death in his bed with a camera tripod. The beating was so brutal that the police could hardly recognize him. The main suspect, John Carpenter, was a friend of Crane's, and the two of them spent a lot of time together going to strip clubs and geeking out on video equipment. However, there were no weapons or witnesses to the murder, making it difficult to make any formal accusations. The case was reopened in 1990 after an overlooked photo of a human body tissue found in Carpenter's car resurfaced. Carpenter was arrested and tried for first-degree murder, but the case was later acquitted after evidence was found inconclusive. Wow. I think I watched that one on Unsolved Mysteries. Was it Unsolved Mysteries?
That could be. This is probably a lot of these would end up in.
Yeah, I was going to say, I watched something like that. I think it was on Unsolved Mysteries or some Netflix series about that one. That one was kind of interesting. Kind of weird.
Now, to be bludgeoned by a camera tripod, that's got to be a heavy sucker to bludgeon this guy.
Yeah, and there was a lot of, I don't know, there was a lot of stuff that went on that the police didn't investigate that one real well right off. And yeah.
I mean, if they did everything together, like you said, they, went out to strip clubs and all whatnot and stuff, maybe he caught Carpenter doing something that he shouldn't have been doing. But then if he got off without being...
Yeah, they never actually charged him. They never could prove that he had done anything. And I don't know. There was a lot of stuff with that one that was really weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to, talk about a famous director doing something that clearly he didn't get nailed for, but who knows? Maybe there's something that's way back tucked in the corner that we all don't know nothing about.
Right. And some of these, you got to wonder if maybe there's a reason they didn't get charged, like they paid somebody off or whatever.
Yeah, and that could be true. You just don't know these days.
I know. All right. This next actress I haven't heard of. This one's Thelma Todd.
Nope. No clue.
Nope. Acting in the late 1920s and early 1930s, known as Hot Toddy.
Okay, so now that Hot Toddy is familiar. I've heard that term before.
Okay.
But in the 20th and 30s, that would make sense.
Yeah, that explains why we haven't heard of her. Anyway, Thelma Todd was an actress in the 20s and early 30s. She owned a cafe that she ran on Roosevelt Highway, now called the Pacific Coast Highway, where she lived in the above apartment with her boyfriend at the time, Roland West. She was found dead inside of a garage behind the steering wheel of her car. At the time, some believed that she had committed suicide or accidentally killed herself while warming up her car while she got locked out of the house. Todd had no signs of struggle on her, though she did have a broken nose. That's kind of odd. Her blood alcohol level was too high to have allowed her to climb the steps to the garage, and her sandals were too clean if she had, in fact, climbed the stairs herself. A rumor spread that West confessed on his deathbed that he had unknowingly locked Todd in the garage. Todd's body was cremated, lending some to believe that it was done to cover up her death by the corrupt district attorney's office. Others suggest that it could have been her ex-husband or gang leader, Charles Lucky Luciano. I think Lucky Luciano, if I was gambling on this one.
Yeah, probably him. I would suspect that.
That's who I'd put my money on. My head killed her as she had confrontations with both of them shortly before she died. Yeah, my money's on Lucky Luciano there.
Yeah, she probably was going to try and take him to the cleaners.
Probably. Let's see. Peter Ivers. Who's Peter Ivers?
Not a clue.
I think, okay. A musician, host of the New Wave Theater in Los Angeles. Peter Ivers was the host of the New Wave Theater when he was found bludgeoned to death in his bed in downtown LA in 1983. Evidence was later unearthed by Los Angeles Police Department to reopen the investigation. Upon his death, dozens of friends went to Ivers' apartment to mourn him, though in doing so, they accidentally tampered with all the evidence.
Jeez.
Oh, man. A number of theories abound about the cause for his murder. Some say he was killed as a result of a robbery. Others speculate that he was killed by one of the attendees of the New Wave Theater. Little headway has been made in solving the Ivers murder case. Yeah, I was going to say, if all the friends came over and ruined all the evidence, then...
That's done.
How does that happen?
You would think that the police would cordon all that off and no one's allowed in there.
And there's a reason they do that.
Right. That seems a little...
Yeah, that seems a little fishy right there. Let's see. Next one, David Carradine.
Oh, yeah, this guy. Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is kind of funky.
Martial arts and character actor. On June 4th of 2009, Carradine was found dead in his hotel room in Bangkok. Well, right there, it says a whole lot, Bangkok. Where he was shooting a movie. The actor's body was found hanging in the closet with a rope tied around his neck, wrists, and genitals, an apparent act of autoerotic asphyxiation. I can barely even say that.
Big following time into bondage.
Apparently.
Yes.
Following his death, two of Carradine's ex-wives, Gail Jensen and Marina Anderson, stated that Carradine did indeed have a self-bondage fetish and an overall penchant for deviant sexual behavior. Since then, Anderson has publicly claimed that she conducted her own investigation of Carradine's death, ruling that he was murdered.
Well, maybe it could be because I think he was shooting a movie at that time that was going on.
Yeah, I mean, if she had suspicions, why did she tell the police that? Yeah, no, he did that. I mean, I get it. I get on one hand if he did have that if he was doing that kind of stuff and she knew about it, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But why?
She probably
Why
knew
didn't she
at some
push?
point he was going to kill himself.
Yeah, why didn't she push the police to investigate further if she had doubts at that point? But then again, it's Bangkok, so who knows? I mean,
well, they might have not even tested the clothes of something being touched and fingerprints and stuff like that. There's lots that go into that, but yeah, he was a weird guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Good actor, weird guy.
Good actor, weird guy. All right, this next one. This is a famous one. We know this guy. Tupac Shakur.
Yeah, he was gunned down, I think.
Yep. Hip hop icon, rapper Tupac Shakur was shot multiple times in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, Nevada in 1996 and died 6 days later in the hospital. He had just attended a boxing match and witnesses identified a Crips gang member, Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, in the lobby. The witnesses also said that Anderson had attacked Shakur. It is speculated that the death was gang-related. Again, if I was a betting person.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, you already know that's, I mean, being a rapper really doesn't necessarily doesn't have to associate with a gang. But in those times, gangs were pretty high. I mean, today they're still pretty high, but when you see a body like that and people know you saw a body like that, yeah, they're gonna turn around and put you down.
That and like the whole,
because you probably knew.
I mean, there's a lot of money going on with those rap guys. There's a lot of money going on, and they drugs and anyway. It was speculated the death was gang related, but suspicion evidence was never given to lead to any arrests. He was 25 years old when he died. So
yeah, and who knows? Maybe it could have been a boxer that did it, and he knew who did it.
Yeah, and it might have been the rival rap stuff, because here's our next one, Notorious B.I.G.
Yep, gunned down.
Yep, known as a hip hop icon, rapper Christopher George Latore Wallace, better known as his stage name, the Notorious B.I.G. Biggie or Biggie Smalls. He became a central figure in the East Coast hip hop scene during a time when the West Coast scene was dominant in the mainstream, leading to an ongoing feud between the two groups, including his longtime rival, Tupac Shakur. After Shakur's death in 1996, Biggie became concerned about his own life.
Yeah.
He was killed in 1997 after leaving the Soul Train Music Awards in LA, where he was sitting in an SUV and another car pulled up beside him and shot him. No one was ever named a suspect in his death. He was 24.
Well, at that point, too, you're pulling up and you're shooting a guy in another car. You take off. No one's going to stop. But in that same instance, too, it's with Tupac, so you know that the two sides.
I was going to say it could have been retaliation. Could have been retaliation.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, this next one I don't know. I don't know this person. Ronnie Chassin.
Nope. Don't know.
A Hollywood publicist. Chassin, not Clausen. She's not a pickle. Chassin was a veritable institution in the movie industry, representing everyone from filmmakers to producers and composers. She orchestrated the Oscar campaign for Driving Miss Daisy and worked with actor Michael Douglas. In the early hours of November 16th, 2010, while driving home from the Hollywood premiere of the film Burlesque, Chassin's Mercedes was shot at 4 times and her body was found slumped over in her car. The murder had many in Hollywood scratching their heads and sparked a massive police hunt, with some sources claiming it was a planned hit. According to the mystery, the lead suspect, Harold Martin Smith, in the murder reportedly committed suicide, although the case was closed after that. It does kind of sound like a hit, especially when we talk about, Biggie right before there, where the car drives up and shoots him and moves on. Yeah. I don't know enough about this one to know if it was a robbery or not. But
I was waiting for the punchline where he got bludgeoned by his own books.
Right? Oh, Natalie Wood. I know this story, Natalie Wood. Do you know this one, right?
Nope.
Natalie Wood from West Side Story. Starred in West Side Story and Rebel Without a Cause.
Two good known movies.
Yeah, she was a gorgeous actress and really popular. Born Natalia Nikolavina Sakarenko Wood. I can see why she changed her name. Wood was known for her roles in West Side Story and Rebel Without a Cause, as well as high-profile relationships with many men, from Elvis Presley to Dennis Hopper.
Wow.
On the evening of November 28th, 1981, she was on Catalina Island taking a break from filming the sci-fi film Brainstorm with her co-star Christopher Walken and her husband Robert Wagner, when she and Wagner began to argue about her relationship with Walken. The next morning, Wood's body was found along with a dinghy floating in the water. A passenger on a boat nearby claimed she heard someone yelling cries of help that evening. In the wake of Wood's death, her lawyer said it was not a homicide, not a suicide, it was an accident. While many thought Wagner was a culprit, police officially declared him not a suspect in 2011. In 2013, her death certificate was mysteriously changed from the reason of death being accidental drowning to drowning caused by undetermined factors.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that jealousy had a big role in this one, and she could not decide. And I bet you it was one or the other. I'm not going to say who the names are, but I think one or the other decided to take actions on their own.
Yeah, I think so. I think they just didn't want one of the famous Hollywood actors to be at fault.
Yeah, and that's
tragic.
And that's a sad, unfortunate incident too.
That's a tragic death because she was an awesome actress.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next guy. I don't know this next guy. Johnny Stompanato?
Nope.
Oh, nope. Hollywood bodyguard. That's why I don't know him. Bodyguard. The inquest into the fatal stabbing of Stompanato, a bodyguard for LA's notorious Mickey Cohen, member of the Jewish Mafia, was a major television event with both his girlfriend, actress Lana Turner, I know that name, and Cohen testifying before 120 journalists, filling the courtroom's 160 seats. There was even an unidentified man shouting, "Lies, all lies." This mother and daughter were both in love with Stompanato. Johnny was a gentleman as he was dragged from the courtroom. Oh boy, this sounds like really interesting.
Yeah, right.
However, Stompanato was anything but a gentleman as a bodyguard to Cohen, a rumored blackmailer and an alleged abusive boyfriend to Turner. Through the star's daughter, Cheryl Crane, was found guilty of justifiable homicide when she stabbed Stompanato with a kitchen knife at Turner's house while he was attacking Turner.
Jeez.
Rumors persisted that Turner had murdered Stompanato herself and passed off the crime to her daughter, who was only 14 at the time.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Ruin a 14-year-old's life. Why not, huh?
Yeah. Interesting. That sounds like a made-for-TV movie right there.
Lifetime Movie Network right there.
Yep. Okay, next one. George Reeves. I know who George Reeves is.
Yes, the very first Superman.
I guess I didn't know. I mean, Christopher Reeves. I guess I've heard kind of like a curse thing about this, but.
Yeah, I think that's. See, now with him, I kind of heard that. See, he liked playing Superman, but there was a lot of controversy surrounding him with the show and stuff, and he fell into a deep depression, I think. All
right, well, let's read what they say. After the Superman series, Reeves had trouble finding work and was in dire financial straits due to his extravagant Hollywood lifestyle. According to the police report, between approximately 1:30 and 2 a.m. on June 16, 1959, Reeves reportedly shot himself in the head in the upstairs bedroom of his Los Angeles home, while his favorite playwright, Lenore Lemon, and friends William Bliss, writer Robert Condon, and Carol Van Ronkel were partying downstairs. The house guests allegedly heard a single gunshot, and Bliss ran into the room to find Reeves' lifeless body. Police reports at the time said that Reeves was depressed because he wasn't earning roles. Lemon and Mannix became suspects, but no one was ever arrested for murder. Yeah. That does seem kind of suspicious, I will say.
Well, number one, there's a party going on, so maybe he had some alcohol in him. Did they find any trace of alcohol?
It doesn't say. It doesn't say there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then, you get the party going on, not getting rolls, depression.
Yeah, I think
it just got to him where he's done.
It just seems a little suspicious that he'd pick a party when people are there to go upstairs and commit suicide.
Well, he must have wanted to go in a big bang, I guess.
I
mean, hey, y'all gonna remember me. This is where it's gonna happen. Maybe. I don't know.
All right, next one. We know this guy. You know this one, Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, yes. Oh,
Bruce Lee.
Big controversy and curse with this family.
Yes. Known as a martial arts film star, of course. On July 20th, 1973, 1 month before the release of his latest movie, Enter the Dragon, Lee met with producer Raymond Chow to talk about a new project, Game of Death. The two then drove over to the home of Lee's colleague, Taiwanese actress Betty Ting Pei. When Lee complained of a headache, Pei allegedly gave him an equagesic, a combination of aspirin and a muscle relaxant. Lee reportedly decided to take a nap, but never woke up. The only substance found in the actor's autopsy was equagesic, which I can't say that. And it was later ruled that he died from a brain edema due to a hypersensitivity to the muscle relaxant in the drug. However, many conspiracy theorists claim that Lee was either murdered by the triads, that he died from a DIMMAC death strike he received some time earlier.
It's a DIMMAC.
Yeah. Or that his family was cursed.
Well, I definitely believe he's cursed for one.
Yeah. The final theory resurfaced when on March 31st, 1993, his son, Brandon Lee, was accidentally shot to death while filming his character's death scene in the film The Crow. It was believed the gun only had blanks in it, but live round was shot into Lee's stomach. Yep. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know this guy. Girl. Virginia Rappe? Rappe? I don't know. 1920s actress Virginia Rappe was at a party at the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco on Labor Day weekend in 1920 with silent film star Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle. Virginia died a few days after the party from peritonitis caused by a ruptured bladder. Yee! Arbuckle was charged with murder for the death of Rappe in 1921. Some believe he squashed her to death with his. I can't. I shouldn't laugh at this. I'm bad. I'm a bad person. You believe he squashed her to death with his weight while raping her at the 3-day rager. Others believe he raped her with a foreign object, causing the peritonitis thing. According to Arbuckle, he found Rappe in his hotel room vomiting when he had gone back there to change his clothes. He cleaned her up, put her to bed, and returned to the party. Yeah.
Nice.
Assuming she was just drunk. Other party members found her in his room later, ripping her clothes off. Hotel employees were called and she got moved to another room to rest. Yeah. Okay, that kind of leads a little credence to the whole rape theory there. Knowing other people were looking after Rappe, Arbuckle returned to LA the following day. 3 days later, when she showed no improvements, she was taken to a maternity hospital, which is known for performing abortions, where she died the next day. Dun, dun, dun. After going through 3 trials and making headlines of newspapers every day, Arbuckle was finally found not guilty. Additionally, the jury wrote an apology to him. Acquittal is not enough for Roscoe Arbuckle. We feel that a great injustice has been done him. We feel also that it is our only plain duty to give him this exoneration. There was not the slightest proof adduced to connect him in any way with the commission of a crime. He was manly throughout the case and told a straightforward story on the witness stand, which we all believe. The happening at the hotel was an unfortunate affair for which Arbuckle, so the evidence shows, was in no way responsible. We wish him success and hope that the American people will take the judgment of 14 men and women who have sat listening for 31 days. Wow.
Yeah.
To the evidence that Roscoe Arbuckle is entirely innocent and free from all crime. That should be a movie. That should be a movie.
There's a lot to soak in on that one.
There's a lot. There's a lot there. That should be a movie. I could see a whole movie because there's a lot more in that story that I don't think we got.
Date rape, basically.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
That was it. But then again, think about back in those days that a guy won't take no for answer. They just figure they're playing them on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, right. I think we're going to break this one up into 2 parts. So I don't have to keep Darin up forever talking about weird murders.
Right.
So anyway, tell everybody where they can find you, Darin.
Yes. So you can find me on MGS Paranormal on YouTube and on Facebook, with there's 2 profiles there. You can find me on Darin Buss on Facebook. MGS 20.20 on Instagram, or Darin Buss at dbus1000 on Instagram. dbus1000 on Twitter, which I don't use at all hardly, but
I don't do the Twitter. That might make me old, but I don't know.
And then they also can find me on Paranormal Buzz Radio for the Paranormal Bus Stop.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Darin. Appreciate it. And we'll finish this one up next time.
Will do.